Okay folks, I think we're ready to roll. We're a bit late, but this is Friday Night 9-ball. And tournament's underway. We can see the tournament rooms that are up there at the moment. What we'll do is we will go and have a look at the bracket. And we'll see that we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we've got 9 in. And the first match we've got Houdini playing Bedhead. Houdini's getting 7 and out. Bedhead's up 1-0. Jay Schrader's got a bye. Larry's got a bye and he's already playing his second round match. And straight away Larry's up against it again. He's given 6 and out to Portman. We've got Arthas. I don't think I've ever seen him play against Irish Gaz, and I don't think I've seen him play either. And Arthas is getting 7 and out. Oh, sorry, no, he's getting a 7 ball. And the last match is V Barrow against Daily Hustle. Daily Hustle's getting, is that the 6 ball? Yep, and he's already 2-0 up. So I think what we'll do is we will go into this match here and have a look at these two players. I need to go back in there and just change the refresh on that. Right. So we've got an 1870 player against a 2000 player. So player 1 is Arthas, who's getting a 7 and out. So let's see what kind of standard we get in this match. Well, he's going to have to play the combo here. 6 doesn't squeeze past the 7. He's going to have to, well, that would have been his money ball. And now the problem for Irish Gaz is he needs to get rid of that quick, which he's done. Well, he could have played that better. He's still cutting into a blind pocket. But in it goes. So Irish Gaz already 3-0 up. Remember, it's a race to 7 in the first round. Well, it's a race to 7 all rounds, apart from the loser's side, which I think is a race to, I keep forgetting, is it a race to 4? Yes, race to 4 on the 1 loss side. Now, let's just double check where these guys are from. I presume with a name like Irish Gaz, he's from Ireland. Yep. And Arthas is from Finland. My little doodle's working. Now, this player Arthas, I hope that he, for his sake, that he remembers this is a double elimination tournament if he happens to lose this match. And he just doesn't disappear like quite a few players do. So, Irish Gaz out of position. Going to have to play the bank. Hit that far too hard, and he's going to fluke the 9. There you go. That's the way to do it. So 4-0 up. Dry break. Now let's see if Arthas has got any tactical ideas, because he's going to need a few if he's going to keep himself in this match. Well, he's tried to billiard the 9 and he's got that. That was well done. So that's a quick rack, gets him on the board. Well, Gaz seems to hit the ball too hard to me. We'll see if that changes, but you know, he banked that ball far too hard. He got away with the fluke, but let's not make any judgments for the time being. But first impressions, he's banging a bit too much. Just needs to slow it down a wee bit. Well, he's missed a kick, so ball in hand to Arthas. Now let's see what he does. Well, he could be running into trouble here playing it this way. He's got the cue ball through. Now he needs to be gentle with the 3 ball. He's going to leave himself a long 4, but he's hit it into the rail far too soon. So my assumption is Arthas is a relatively new player, or he doesn't play online very much. And once again, Irish Gaz slams it in, far too much pace in the cue ball. And that looks to be what's lacking, is that control of the pace in his shots. He seems to have one pace and it's far too heavy. Okay, he's getting away with it against a, shall we say, a lower ranked player. But if Irish Gaz is going to go any further in this tournament, he's going to probably come across 1 or 2 players that will find him out. So Arthas, now he needs to just take his time here and get this 7 ball and get a rack, another rack on the board, and overcut it. So his judgment of angles is something that's lacking, but again, on a new player, that's to be expected. I haven't looked at his profile, but I'm assuming he's relatively new. As I said, he doesn't really play much online, because I don't recall seeing his name. So Irish Gaz, or Gaz as we'll just call him, is now into a 5-1 lead and looking a strong contender to win this match. Arthas can go for the cut, or he can go for the safety. Again, he's overdone it. He's going to scratch, I think. Oh, he's got away with it. He might actually have him hooked behind the jaw there, I don't know. That's a chance. He's going to have to sneak out behind that 4 ball. He's done that okay. Needs to watch his pace on this draw. I think he's overdone it. Oh, he's just hung on. He's got to be thinking about the 6 ball though when he plays S5. And he's missed the 5. So he's making it all too easy for Gaz. That was better pace. Perfect on the 8 ball, just roll it through. So 6-1. And 5 balls going down. Played the double kiss there to push that cue ball back up the table away from the 1. Good safety. Well, we say this every week, this rack should be over. And the match as well. Now he needs to... Again, he's went for the whiz bang, super duper spectacular shot, and he's got no position in the 7 now. Going to try and thin cut it, which he's done, but he's out of position in the 8. He went for the bank with a lot of spin to get back up for the 9. One thing's certain here, Arthas will need to play a great shot to get on this 9 if he pots the 8. He's got no angle to get up there. I think the 9's sitting too close to the rail for a good bank as well, even if he got the 8 ball. So it's not a good position for him. Well, that means the match is over. Gaz just needs to roll the 8 in, and he should be home and dry. So, Irish Gaz wins the match by 7 racks to 1. Just thought I'd remind the guy just in case he thinks I'm doing a runner. Anyway, that's the first match completed. Let's have a look at the bracket. And we'll see that Bedhead is now 4-0 up against Houdini. And Larry's tied up at 2-2 against Portman. Now this was a second round match, that match we've just watched, so Arthas is over to the 1-loss side. Well, it's good that he knows that it's double elimination. And Irish Gaz is waiting on the winner of V Barrow and Daily Hustle. Daily Hustle is currently up by 4 racks to 2, But the interesting match seems to be Larry's match again. Larry tied up 2-2 with Portman. So we'll go in and watch some of that. Now Larry's given 6 and out to Portman, and that is again a fairly generous handicap, and Portman's more than capable of making the most of it. So he's got the 4, and he's going to have to run this cue ball. Needs a lot of power to get that cue ball up the table and back down. Now, this isn't a great angle either, but he's going to have to force it. Well, he's went the other way, and that's a great shot, and that is unlucky. I thought he was going to take it into the top left as we look. He played it to the top right, actually played the right shot, but was unfortunate. He's cannoned off the 8 ball and scratched. So Larry, ball in hand, will be looking to run this one out. Oh dear. Well, we see it a lot of times. Larry's done it again, playing position in the 7, which of course he had to. And the only thing is he's hooked Portman, but Portman just needs to pot this 6. Now there is a long distance there for a jump, and he doesn't fancy it, I don't think. I think he could surely spin past the left hand side of that 7 and catch enough of the 6 to pot it. Well, he's looking to kick it in, and somewhere near that middle diamond in the bottom rail there, just where the donut is roughly where he needs to be hitting to make some kind of hit on the 6. And that'll do it. So Larry's made the mistake, and Portman has took his opportunity and goes into the lead. 3 racks to 2. So, no joy in the break. There is a pot in the 1 for Larry, and he has to find that narrow gap there to get on this 2 ball, and it's not easy. Let's have a look. It's definitely not easy. I think he's just managed to leave enough of that 2 ball. He can pot the 2, and as long as he doesn't run into the 4 with the cue ball, he should have the long 3 down it into this bottom pocket as we look here, down here. I don't know whether he's gone too far. He might be able to just draw back. I think he's okay. Can just draw off the 3 and leave himself in the 4, but again, it's always the same. You've got to get that angle, because the 5's nailed to that right hand rail, and Larry's looking to be pretty good here. He can certainly just nudge over. He needs to keep running. Oh, he's underdone it. So again, he's struggling. I don't think that was a great shot either, was it? Well, he's covered 2/3 of the ball. Now, if Portman could have seen enough of that 5, we could have had Larry in a lot more trouble and punched that 5 around the table and stuck the cue ball behind the 8 and 9. I don't think he can do that now with this shot. Well, that was the right one. Certainly not moving the 5 in any great distance. Means Larry's got to come up with something better. And this time I think he's got him snookered, and that's a good shot. So now Portman has to use a rail, and obviously the easiest one would be there and then there. Well, he's nudged it out, and I think it's a straight pot, isn't it? Well, isn't straight, but the pressure's on Larry, because Larry knows that should he make a mistake in this 5, the 6 ball's sitting in the open for Portman, and that's Portman's first money ball. And Larry's knocked a 5 in, no problem. This is a tester as well. The shot here is off that rail and up here. He's got to find that gap, so he's decided he's checked the ball up to hold it behind the 8, which is the sensible thing to do because of the risk of hooking himself. So Larry should be tied up again at 3 racks all. Still got all the balls on the table. Now there's a problem that's going to have to be dealt with here, with the 3 and the 7 been pretty closely tied up together. Let's have a zoom in and look at this 3. Well, the 3 doesn't go. Well, Larry's looking to bring the cue ball behind the 2 ball, I would think. I don't know, I presume that's what he's trying to do. Try and get that cue ball back over by the 3 and the 7. It needs to spin over. It fell short. It was about 5 inches away from being a good safety. That's a great shot, and that's changed things slightly. It's opened the 3 up, but it's still blocked by the 7. And of course, the other thing though is that if Portman can go over cleanly, well, that's unlucky, because he could have, if he'd got that cue ball up to here, he could have played the 3-7 combo, and that would have been the money ball. Best ploy here would be to try and keep distance. Well, he's tried to billiard. He's unlucky. Now, has he got away with it? Well, the 3 ball pots, but once again Larry's forced into doing something with the cue ball to get out for the 4. The cue ball's going to come back across, but that 5 ball is dangerously in the way. Could easily hook himself here. He's missed the 3, and he managed to avoid the hook, but he's left Portman hooked. I don't think Portman can see any of that. Well, can he? Well, I'll tell you this, if he just a little bit of spin around that 5, there should be enough there to catch the 3. the danger is the 4's very adjacent as well, so he's going to play the little jump. And that's a good shot. So of course, the 7 ball's hanging over the pocket, and if Portman finishes short on the 6, if he gets that far, he can easily just play the combo onto the 7. Let's see what he does. So there's a couple of matches have come in. Couple of results anyway. Bedhead has won against Houdini, and Daily Hustle has won against Wee Barrow. And as I thought, Portman's played the combo. That was always a sort of safety net for him. And Portman goes into the lead, 4 racks to 3. And the 9 ball has gone in. That will be respotted because it's spot money. When any money ball is spotted on the break, if it's your own money ball while you're shooting, it will get respotted. And the 3 ball also went down. He's got a shot in the 1. Oh dear. He's just tied himself up behind the 5. So, possible chance coming here for Larry if Portman doesn't get lucky. Looks as if he's lining up the jump. And he's made a mess of that. So, ball in hand. Once again, Larry's got all the balls there for the taking. It's only going to be a mistake on his part that is going to prevent him from running this rack out. Straight away, he's underhit that by a fair margin. And now, knowing Larry, he's going to go all out to try and run the rack, so he's possibly lining up the bank. Well, he's tried to play the safety, and he's partially got away with it because he kissed into the 6, and that's actually what's left of snooker. And it's too long, I think, for Portman to jump that, so he could certainly kick at it. He can kick at it just past the 5. Get it that way. He's looking to jump over the shorter ball. Excuse me, he's looking to jump over the 7 because it's nearer him and kick it off the rail. And that's unlucky. So again, it's fallen in Larry's hands here. Now he's had one attempt to run out and made a complete hash of it. So he's now got ball in hand. And it's the same thing. This time it's just a gentle draw to get on the 5. And a little stun across to get on the 6. Well, he's just rolled through. If you look at the angle he's got in the 6, he's going to have to stun into that 9 ball and hope he gets position. He could end up way too square on this 7 if he does that. That's the danger here. He might try drawing back and holding for the 7. Well, he's nudged the 9. But he's got position on the 7, which is what he wanted. And just bear in mind as well, that 9 ball is well off that top rail. So when Larry pots the 7 and presumably pots the 8, he's got to leave himself here or here on that 9. If he overdoes it, he'll be playing it from behind, and that'll cause him a problem. And that's an even bigger problem because where he is at the moment on this rail, is not easy to get good on this 9 ball. He's going to be forced into doing something here to try and spin this cue ball, unless he just takes his medicine and plays the bank. Well, he's trying to get it over as far as he can. That's not a bad effort. Bit of left hand spin. Managed to get him there. So this for 4 all. And we're all square. So Larry had 2 goes at that rack, eventually won it. It's still anybody's match with this handicap system. Well, something went into the right middle. I didn't quite catch what it was. The 1 ball sent him into this bottom left. So the 1 and the 4 have gone. And Larry's got no shot in the 2, but Portman should be in trouble in a second. You just nudge that 2 up behind the 8 and stick the cue ball onto the 9. Simple enough shot to do. Well, he's put the cue ball the other way, and I don't think he's played it very well. He's left the gap. I thought it would have been easier to roll onto the 9. Maybe Larry didn't like the angle. Got to get right behind the shot to see how easy it would have been. It looked easy. Well, I don't think Portman could maybe see the right angle to pot that to. He's left it open. Well, Larry's put all his eggs into one basket there and gone all out to make that difficult cut in the 2, and you just can't do that. It's just not going to happen for you all the time. But what it means is Portman has got an opportunity. He needs that 2. He's going to have the 3, then the 5, and the 6, as long as he doesn't hook himself on it. He's going to have to do something here though. He's got a fairly straight 5. There's a slight angle there, but look where the 6 is, so he's going to have to do something to get the cue ball out onto the 6. Well, he's drawn it back, but he's going to have to play a nasty cut. So this for the rack. That was a good one. So Portman back into the lead. 5 racks to 4 and breaking off in rack number 10. And 3 balls have went down this time. And he's perfect in the 1. Oh, 2 balls. I thought 3 went in. Well, certainly the 2 and the 3 have gone. He's got a nice shot in the 1. The 4's sitting there on the right hand side. Now his problem is getting onto this 5. And he's dead straight on the 4. And the 5 doesn't pass the 8, so he's probably best rolling through as far as he can. That would be the simplest shot. If he could roll through as far as he can to here, he would have at least a pot in the 5 into that middle. It'd be a tight angle. Well, he's going to scratch, is he? Oh dear, that's what he tried. But too much pace on it. And so, ball in hand now for Larry again. He had the right idea because it was the only way he could get a shot on the 5, because he was too straight, so he could only go forward or back. But he just didn't judge the pace correctly. And it's given Larry a fairly straightforward opportunity here to get the match all square again. He's still got an angle there. Can punch through. I think we'll change this colour again. That's better. So, a dry break for Larry. The 3 and the 4 are tied up right now. So, it's a problem for any of the 2 players if they're going to try and run out. Well, Portman has completely missed the edge of the 1, I think. So that's a foul. And ball in hand for Larry. Now what does Larry do? Because he's looking at the 2 and he's looking at the 1. Now how does he pot the 1, get on the 2 and get up here and disturb this 3 and 4 ball? So this is an occasion where, even though Larry's got ball in hand, he's got nothing great here to actually try and run out. So what he's going to try and do is go for the 3 fouls, which is the correct thing to do. You've got to... We discussed this in a previous tournament. It was either last week or the week before. When the balls aren't lying good for you, when you've got ball in hand, then you have to go the other method, and that's tie your opponent up and try and get the 3 fouls. Because if Portman doesn't hit the 1 and doesn't split the 3 and 4, Portman's going to be in dire trouble. So there's a grave danger here. Well, that's exactly what's happened here. He's completely missed it, and Portman should be buried here by Larry. Again, Larry's got no shot in the 1, so he's just going to try and nudge it in behind the 3. A very thin edge, and try and use that 6 ball maybe. Well, that's not a great shot because Portman can easily kick the 1 off the rail just past the 5 ball. And Portman, give him his dues, he played the right shot there as well. He didn't smack into them to bust open the 3 and the 4. He's kept them safe. So that's a sort of safety net for Portman at the moment. Well, this time he's going to have to play this very gentle if he wants to. I don't even think he can keep them safe this time. He's going to nudge into that 3 with a 1 ball. Well, it's still safe. He's nudged the 4 as well, and it's still safe. So once again, Larry has no real great opportunity here to run out. He can certainly pot the 1. He might be playing this just to keep it tight. That's what he's done. But once again, he's not got the full cover, so an easy safety for Portman. Just cut it onto that rail as we look, and then bring the cue ball back. Well, he's under hit that, I think, has he? Oh no, he's almost got it. Well, the safety is down that side rail as well, because the 8's a blocker into the top pocket as we look. So we're getting a bit of cat and mouse here. And that hasn't really changed anything, but it's a good shot because Portman is hooked on the 1. He can certainly jump over the 6 and hit the 1, possibly pot it, but he won't have any shot in the 2 ball. And the 3 and the 4 are still tied up. So this has got, this is going to be something where you're going to have to work to win this rack. So this time, Portman got the hit. He's brought the cue ball and the 1 ball up the table. Now Larry can pot the 1 and pot the 2. And he'll need a good angle in the 2 to try and bring this cue ball back towards the 3 and 4. Well, I don't know what Larry was trying there. I think he might have been trying to push the cue ball in behind the 8, but he's ran into the 2, which has held it up. And the same thing for Portman, a fairly straight 2. And now Portman's made the mistake. He's missed the 1. And also the cue ball's run into the 3 and the 4. It's split them. So now the table's open. But look at this 1 ball. Larry's got a pot in the 1. He's going to have to do his damnedest to try and hold to get a shot in this 2 from that angle. And if he brings the cue ball down to the bottom of the table, he's a strong danger of hitting some of these balls here. So that's why he's refused it. Well, now Portman can play a good safety here if he wants. He can go off the thin edge of the 1, push it that way, cue ball there and up here. Well, he didn't play for that shot, but he's got it reasonably safe. But now he's in trouble. Or is he? Well, I don't think the gap's there unless my eyes are really bad. I don't think you can squeeze that cue ball through there. Then when you look at it from that side, there looks to be plenty of room. It's a bit deceptive. And again, Portman has failed on the attempted jump shot. This position of the 1 ball's no good for Larry because he can't pot the 1 and play a shot that will get him to the 2. So he's doing the same thing as he did the last rack. He's just trying to tie Portman up. And that's a good safety. And Portman's going to need at least 2 rails to get to this 1 ball. So this is the opportunity Larry's been waiting on. He's now got a pot in the 1. Now, thinking ahead here, Larry's problem is that if he drops on the 2 ball in this sort of angle, he can bring the cue ball back this way and try and find a gap. He could find a gap over here. He's got nothing into this left-hand pocket, so he's got two ways of getting there. If he overdoes it and goes over here, he's still got a cut back in the 3, but he's got no position in the 4, so this is a problem. And he's underhit it. And he's now in trouble himself. And if he tries to play the edge of the 3 that way, he's just cutting it towards the pocket, so he's just going to kick. He might not, I don't think he'll slam this. Well, he's knocked a 7 in. He'll be happy with that, because now he's sitting pretty. He can pot the 3, he's got the 4 between the 5 and the 6. Now, Larry's just had a brain fart. And he's totally focused on what he was planning ahead and forgot about the 3. Yeah, it was the 7 that went. So Larry's mind isn't on the job. And that's a glaring mistake there, because he's now given Portman a chance. Now Portman's not got a great combo here, but the combo is on. He's just taking his time to line the 4 up where he has to hit it. He's overdone it. And he's got a break. He's left Larry hooked. So Larry breathes again, but that was a basic error by Larry there. Thought he'd potted the 3 ball, but it was actually the 7 that got nudged in by the 3. So Portman's, oops, wait a wee minute, let's just fix ourselves here. Portman's got, well, that 4 ball isn't going past the 8 at that distance. Well, that's another way of doing it. Push the 4 into the 8 and the 4 balls just continued on. And I think you can see enough in the 5 to cut it. That 9 ball's actually a pretty good guide. The only thing is he's going to hit this 6. And now he's finished with what can best be described as a very thin cut, but a reasonable bank. He's probably be better playing the bank here. That way he can hold for the 8 ball. I think he's playing the cut. Watch this cue ball though. Yeah, that wasn't the shot. I would have played the bank. He ran into the 8 and got lucky, but Larry's got no option but to play the cut, because that way the cue ball is going to run round there, there and there for the 8. And that pretty much followed the line. Now there's 2 ways to play this shot. You can play the stun. A snooker player would play the stun, or you could play the 8 ball in and the run off the rail and down. He's coming off the rail. So, is this the turning point? Larry goes into the lead. He's now sitting in the hill, 6-5 in front, breaking off in rack number 12. And these balls are sitting perfect. The only problem is Larry got none of them. But Portman's got nothing either. Again, he's looking for lining up the jump. Now he's had 2 attempts at jumps that have failed. And if he plays the jump, it's doubtful he can see enough of that 1 ball to actually pot it in the middle. So he's playing the push out. Pot's a 4 ball. Well, Larry can just push this to the end rail. It's hard to judge what Larry's thinking here. Could bank it up the table, run the cue ball through it. No, he's gone all out for the pot. So Larry's got the killer instinct. He's going for it. There's a good shot in the 1 and got that little nudge there to hold for the 2. And just a little stop here in the 3 ball and leave that 5 into the left middle. No heroics. Well, this was always looking like a tough ask for Larry, given a 6 and out handicap, but it seems like he's going to come through it. He's still got the 7, 8, 9 to pot though. Has he finished straight? He's finished straight. He needs to be careful. He's just managed to draw past the middle pocket. So Larry wins the match by 7 racks to 5. And Portman moves over to the 1 loss side. So we'll now have a quick look at the bracket to see how that shapes up. Well, Bedhead has been waiting on the winner of that match. Now that is going to be a good match. Irish Gaz is playing Daily Hustle, and Irish Gaz is 6-5 up and giving Daily Hustle the 6 ball. And what we'll do is we'll nip in and see the end of that match. And well, we're just about to see the end. Irish Gaz has come through it and won by 7 racks to 5, so that was a quickie. So straight away we will head back in and we'll see how Larry gets on against Bedhead. Now Arthas, in fact let's check Houdini and Arthas, they're tied up at 2-all in that match. In fact, let's go into that match. That's the 1 loss side match. And both players are playing scratch in this match. No handicap given. And that is a good kick there by Arthas. He's kicked bank to what the 7 ball. And he's going to have to do a bank again on this 8. Oh, he's overdone it this time. How's his luck? Not very good. He's left it on for Houdini. That needs to keep rolling, that cue ball. Well, 2 choices for Houdini. He plays the pot or he plays the bank. It's a good bank. And in it goes. So Houdini now 3-2 up. And it's only raised to 4 on the 1 loss side. And nothing doing there for Houdini. Now, no real shot here for Arthas either, so he should be looking at a good safety. That will do. Well, this time Arthas has missed the pot in the 1. I don't know how that's sitting. Who can he see enough of the 1 to pot it? Well, it looks a legal shot. Yep. He's going to have to play this with a fair bit of inside English. He was going to come back for this 4, and he didn't play it with anything, so he's got no shot. He can just punch the 4 up the table though, try and hook him behind a 6, which he's done. That's a good safety. So now Arthas is in all sorts of trouble here. These balls are all sitting wide open. He's got to try and get the kick on this 4. Well, he's looking at 3 rails possibly. Side rail, bottom rail, maybe even the shots, the long side rail and kick into the 4. Well, he's hit the 8. So ball in hand for Houdini and a chance to win the match. Well, he's going to have to punch this in because the angle's not great. He needs to get the cue ball moving and didn't get into it enough. So he's still got a cut on the 6, but it's very thin and got to be careful with the cue ball. Oh, he's left it hanging. And has he got away with it? I don't think so. Oh, I mean, it's a snooker, but Arthas can certainly, he needs to get that cue jacked up and get a bit of spin on this. Or can he squeeze it? No, I didn't think he could. He had to get the cue jacked up and spun it around the 8 to let the cue ball get in those jaws. Ball in hand for Houdini. Get that cue ball drawn out into the table. Now it needs to keep running. If it does, it's good. And that's pretty good. Just a gentle roll in the 7. And a little stop would be ideal. He's let it run away and he's made a complete arse of it and missed the 7. He actually chickened out in that shot there. It needed to be a little firm stun to kill the cue ball, and he just bottled out on it. And in the end, he wasn't convinced of what he was really trying to do. So Arthas breathes again. And that presumably was an attempted pot in the 7. He's left Houdini Chinese snookered over the 8, so he could only just pot the 7. So this, really it's this 8 ball for the match, because if he cuts it in, the cue ball's got to be on the 9. Cue ball's going to be running, and that's a good shot. So, unless Houdini makes a complete hash of the 9 ball, Arthas has played his last match in tonight's tourney, and Houdini wins the match by 4 racks to 2. So that will update on the bracket. And what we will do is we will go in and we'll see how Bedhead and Larry are getting on. And Larry is 2-0 up. We've got Bedhead, a 2,200 player, against Larry, 2,388. And Larry's given Bedhead the 6 ball. And a little nudge on the 7 here, a firm little punch, And no great heroics here needed either with the cue ball. He just needs to get the cue ball out to the right, but he needs to go far enough. It's going to come off here. He needs to go over here far enough so he can pot the 7 and come around the angles for the 8. Now it looks as if he's actually pretty straight, and he needs to be careful with the draw. And that'll do it. Simple enough again. Get the cue ball up towards that right hand middle pocket. There hasn't been a pool game out on console for years. Virtual Pool was probably Virtual Pool Tournament Edition was it called? That was out in the Xbox, I think. But that would be about, oh goodness knows how many years ago that was. But there's nothing out in a console to my knowledge. And the games that are out in console, the pool games are all crap compared to this. So, back to the match. Larry's now 3-0 up against Bedhead. Now we've seen Bedhead. Bedhead is a more than capable player if he gets a chance. But right now he's not getting many chances. Well, Larry went for the bank and he's got away with it. He's left Bedhead nothing other than a hook behind the 5. An easy kick though. How's his luck? Well, nothing doing. Larry can just look for the gap here. He might be just trying to finish sort of here. Well, he's let it run, but he's okay. He's still got the shot. He's overdone it this time. Now he's in a spot of bother. He needs a good shot in this 4, and this is not easy. This is not the type of shot you want to be making when you're playing a 2,200 opponent, because you know he's going to come in and should run out. So this is a must 4 ball, unless he looks for a safety. And there isn't much opportunity for a safety, but he's played the 7. Oh dear. How's his luck? Is he okay? No, you can just see the 4. Don't know whether you can see enough of it to thin cut it. Can certainly, it's off the rail. Well, not a good safety, so it's all gone wrong for Larry now, and let's see if Bedhead can take his chance. He's certainly got a good angle to get on the 5. Should be no problem with that. And the 4 ball was thinking about staying out. And now he's got a perfect little angle on the 8. There's 2 choices as to what way he goes. He can go this short side of the 9, or he could come up higher, and that's the worst place he could put it. And now he's in dire straits here. He's staring at 3-0, 4-0 here. Goes to the bank. Where's the cue ball going? He's okay. So he managed to scrape his way through there, but left himself in an awful position in the 9, but got the bank. So he's off and running. And would have paid for a ball in the break there, but got nothing. Well, there's only one way to get to this 3, and that's to come through the 8 and 9. And he's found a gap. Well, Larry shouldn't be doing an awful lot with the cue ball, I think. He might be leaving this 4 long, but if he does and pots it that way, the cue ball's going that way for the 5. He might not want to be trying an awful lot with the cue ball here. And what's he done? Well, he's still okay. We can still make the angle to come over for that 5 ball. Off the railing over there. Now he's got a choice. He can either go through for the 6 into the middle, or he can come back that way. Well, he's going to leave it long. So this is where it's a judgment of pace. He wants to take the 7 into the right middle, or between the 8 and 9, so he's got to make that decision. He's taking it intended to take it in the middle, I think, but he's run too far. So now he's in the no man's land area, and he's letting the cue ball run again. He's far enough away from the rail. He should be home and dry. Just a little drawback off the 8. So Larry opens up the 3 rack gap again. He's now leading by 4 racks to 1. So no shot on there for Bedhead. He's done the right thing. He's got Larry stuck behind the 4. So this could be a chance here for Bedhead if Larry doesn't get the hit in the 1. Well, he's missed it. So now, well, that's now just gone slightly awkward. The 2 ball clearly goes into the middle, but it's now a slight problem because it only goes into the 1 middle pocket. That 8 ball is in the way, and that's proven a bit of a headache here for Bedhead. If it hadn't been touched, everything would have been fine for here Bedhead to get the run out. And now he's trying to just roll through for that 2 into the right middle. Or he's just going to play it long. You can get enough of it to pot it. Yes, he can get it in the corner, so that'll do. Now, strangely enough, this stream tonight, I'm looking at the quality of it, and since the stream started, it hasn't been buffering on my end at all. It's actually running very smooth. It's only like 2 or 3 seconds behind. Well, there's a mistake there by Bedhead. He had his chance and he's hung up the 4, and the 5's hanging over the opposite corner pocket at the top end of the table. There's a big gap for Larry to find to get on the 5 ball. Well, he's chose the narrow gap. I don't think he played that, but he's left it dead straight. And now Larry's out of line again. Now, what's he trying here? Is he trying to cut? Well, it's always too much to ask to try and pull off these shots, and that was because he finished far too far away from the 5. So Bedhead gets a second bite at the cherry, and of course Bedhead just needs a 6 ball. So it's now 4-2. What's Larry got here? He can't cut it into the middle, and playing it long is dicing with that corner, that middle pocket. Well, he's hung up the 2. Now, has he got away with it? Can Bedhead get enough room over that 9 ball? He's lining up the kick, or does he fancy the jump? Well, out comes the jump stick. In goes the 2. We got a big weird lag in that shot there. I'll just see that in the replay. Yeah, I've seen the lag in the cue ball there. So this is an important rack here for Bedhead. Get another one back. Trailing just by the 1 rack if he can do it. Now he's got to be careful with this one because he's rolling through and he's going to have to find that narrow window, and that means he's dicing with the corner pocket. Got to find that gap, and he's found it. And or has he gone too far? Goodness me, surely not. Oh dear. Well, there was only 2 things could happen there. He could run into the pocket with the cue ball, or he could fall short and leave himself snookered by the jaw. So Bedhead's chance is gone in this rack with the look of it. And he can't get an easy path to the 6 at all because it's half obscured by that 7. So what looked like a very promising chance there for Bedhead has all but evaporated. Looks like just threw off the rail and out for the 8. Now he's trying to stun up. Has he got far enough? I think he has. So Larry stretches his lead to 5 racks to 2. But in all honesty, he shouldn't have had the chance. Larry breaks off in rack number 8. Dry break again. And no shot for Bedhead. 7 and the 6 ball are tied up in this bottom rail, so similar circumstances to Larry's previous match. There's no opportunity here to run out unless these balls can be disturbed. The 2 balls more or less tied up dead as well. So just to push out. Well, Larry's got a thin cut to nothing here. He could actually play the cut in the 1. He could cut the 1 into this pocket and the cue ball's going to go down here. Now if he misses it, he's going to hang it in the jaws, but there's a strong chance he'll hook. Sorry, not Larry, Bedhead. Well, he's tried to be gentle, but he hasn't hit a rail. So now Larry's just going to skim off the 1. And I think he's left an edge showing. Well, that's taking care of the 6 and the 7. And it hasn't made any difference to the 2. The 2 isn't going anywhere. 7's blocking it into one corner pocket and the 3 and the 8's blocking it into the other one. Well, he could thin edge it. He's played the little bank shot, but all he's done is hung it up. And of course, Bedhead's got no chance of getting on the 3. Well, he tried that with a lot of draw and right hand English to try and punch the cue ball towards the 3 and the 8. Well, Bedhead just played the deliberate foul. He didn't want to disturb the 3 and the 8. He's given Larry ball in hand. Well, that's a mistake. Bedhead's hit that too firm. He's cleared the 8 ball. And he's left Larry the cut in the 3 with a good angle to get up for the 4. He still needs another good shot to get good on this 5. The 5 isn't going past the 6, so he's got to get down on the right side here. Well, that is perfect. Oh dear. Larry's taking his eye off the ball again. He's got away with it though. Well, Larry will be going for the cutback, I think, into that top left as we look. And he's played it beautiful. But more problems for Larry. How does he get on this 7 ball? Oh, he's tried to nudge it towards the pocket. Made a good effort. Didn't get it enough. But the bank is on. And he'll be going for it. Perfect. And perfect on the 8. And Larry again's overdone it. He's just trying a little gentle draw. And he was trying to play that 9 into the top right as we look. And he's overdone it. And now we're going to have to pull out another cut or a bank. And this time, he's not going to be so fortunate. That's going to bounce off the bottom rail and leave a shot here for Bedhead. So Larry's Q-tip position on the cue ball there was too low. It would just needed to be below the equator and a little punchy shot to get a little soft draw. And he overdone it. And that was enough to put him offline in the 9 and give Bedhead his chance. So Bedhead's now trailing by 2. And what else? The 4 ball has gone in the break. And he's not getting to that enough. He played the pot well enough, but didn't get enough juice into the cue ball. He's sitting below square in this 2 ball. And used the 9 to hold for the 3. So now he's in business. And all the balls are sitting okay. Doesn't need to work hard here. So Bedhead with his 6 ball money ball. Now trailing by just the 1. And the 1 ball and the 7 ball have gone, and he's sitting pretty on the 2. So just a nice little delicate shot to leave the shot in the 3. But this is still slightly awkward. Because of course the height, the angle that he has here means it's very difficult to hold for the 4. He's got to run up and down the table surely. Now, as long as he misses the traffic and doesn't scratch, oh dear, well, that's unlucky. And that was a shot to play to get that cue ball back up the table for the 4. And unfortunately, it's given Larry a gift of a chance. So just when Bedhead was threatening to get going, the wheels have come off in this rack. Well, Larry's left that shot again. This is not. This isn't a gimme. And that's what happens. He just left that short on the 8 ball, left that too much of an angle for comfort, and Bedhead surely is going to spin around the angles and get the cue ball. Well, it looks as if he's drawing. Well, he's okay. So somehow or other, Larry's managed to manufacture himself a way of not winning racks, and finds himself now all square 5 all. And Bedhead gets no joy. And worse than that, he's left Larry a shot in the 1. Now here's where the problem lies here. Just in that area with the 4 and the 8. The 8 ball being the blocker for the 4, and the 3 ball's not sitting that great either, but Larry can, well, he can try and go over and get behind it or do something, but, well, in the end, he's done neither, so he's looking at the safety. Well, he's played the bank, and that's going to double, but he's just going to have to kick the 4. Now this could go all wrong here. Bedhead sitting waiting on the outcome of this kick shot in the 4, because it could be a great chance for Bedhead. And it is it? Oh, the 9 ball is just sitting there waiting to cover up that 4. Now what does Bedhead do? Well, there's the result came in. Daily Hustle is a winner, and Portman is going to have to battle again next week. Well, he made a good attempt at the combo in the 9. So this match is swinging to and fro. Now Larry's got a thin cut on the 4, but the cue ball's going to have to do an awful lot of running. Well, the cue ball's a good bit away from the 5, but at the 5 is off the rail, so Larry's looking to thin cut this. And now he looks to be okay. A little nudge in the 6, just roll it in. That's the sort of angle there that Larry should have had in that 8 ball in the last rack, and now he's sitting okay. You can manoeuvre the cue ball a lot easier. So Larry back into the lead by 6 racks to 5. And don't forget, Larry's having to battle against these handicaps. I mean, against this 2,200 player, to give away a 6 ball extra money ball and to be sitting still 6-5 in front is pretty good. And the 2 and 5 ball have disappeared. Larry's got no great shot in the 1. What's he thinking here? Well, he's played the bank. As long as he doesn't hook himself. Oh dear. Well, it's the only place he could end up where he's not going to have a shot, and it's just going to have to be a kick. So, like the last rack, Bedhead may well have an opportunity coming here. Larry's looking to kick this 3 ball in though. He's trying to find a point in the rail where he can just hit it and catch the edge of the 3, and he's got it too thick. And where's the cue ball finishing? Well, it's finishing perfect for Bedhead. Now, can Bedhead keep himself in this match? Doesn't need to do anything with the cue ball. Just roll it through with the 4. And just the 6 ball to go to a final rack decider, and Bedhead will be breaking. 3 ball has dropped in. Bedhead has again no shot in the 1. Now is he try and play distance here or reverse bank it? That's what he's tried. He's got it. And he's still got a shot in the 2. But he's going to have to probably nudge into this 4 and just hope he gets lucky here, because there's no shot on the 4. Something's got to give. He's got to start moving things. Well, he's took his eye off the ball. He's missed the 2 and got himself on the 4. So it's now in Larry's court. Larry, I don't think he'll have much choice. He's got to get the cue ball off that end rail and up here somewhere to have a shot at the 5-7 combo. And he's short by about 6 inches. He would have wanted to have been much straighter on it. He should be okay though. But where's the 5 ball going to end up? Well, it's stayed there and he's got a shot. So this looks like it's all over for Bedhead in this side of the tournament. Larry just needs a little stopper in the 6 ball, roll the 8 in. And a simple enough 9 ball to follow. And Larry will win the match by 7 racks to 6. He had much more angle than he wanted on the 8. That's why he had to play around the angles. Get the cue ball back up to the top end of the table. Should still get the 9 without much problem. So it's 7-6. Well, the tournament's moving on. And let's see how things are doing. Well, we've got Larry about to play Irish Gaz, and on the 1 loss side we've got Houdini about to play Bedhead. And Daily Hustle, of course, we've seen that match come through. Daily Hustle beat Portman by 4 racks to 3, so Daily Hustle's waiting on the winner of that match. And Larry now about to play Irish Gaz. Irish Gaz is getting 7 and out. And I don't think there's any other matches going on. So there's only the choice of the 2 matches. Now, Bedhead is going to be giving Houdini a couple of money balls as well in that match. Now Bedhead is in the match. Houdini, it says here, has just arrived, so maybe he was rebooting or something. So their match is just about to start. And Bedhead won the lag. So Houdini is player number 1 in the HUD. And a couple of balls have gone in. The 5 ball's gone. And the 3 as well, I think. And perfect in the 1. Now, he can certainly pot the 2, but can he avoid running into the 7 and get this cue ball up for the 4? He's trying to spin it around. He's going to hit the 6. So now he's got no shot. Now, if he'd missed that 6 ball, he would have been over on the right hand side of the table. Comfortable enough shot on the 4. Now he's got no real shot. He's just trying to cut it safe, but he's hit it too firm. So straight away, Houdini's got a chance. So he needs the 4 and the 6 and then the 7. Oh, he's missed it on the way up and kicked it behind it. That's a poor shot. And straight away, Bedhead has played another not so good safety shot and given Houdini another chance. The only slight thing now is that the 8 ball is obstructed slightly by the 9, but Houdini's hung up the 4. So this is going to and fro in a space of 3 shots here. But Bedhead's going to have the same problem. He's got a long distance pot in the 4. He's going to have to just play the draw as he's done to get on the 6. The delicate shot is getting the cue ball held for that 7. Now if he runs through like it looks as if he's going to do, he's going to leave it square, or he's going to run through off the side rail and that bottom rail. Let's see what he does. He's trying to hold it up, and that's pretty much where you would want to have the cue ball to get that space past the 9. And he's played a little soft draw, and he's perfect on the 8. So Bedhead off and running in this one lost side match. And Bedhead has come up blank. And just a choice of a kick for Houdini and a push out. Oh well, there's a bit of good fortune. One ball's found a pocket. And he has a shot in the 2. Yes, definitely just as he planned it, that shot. No great shot on here for Houdini. He's got to look at keeping distance between his cue ball and the 3. He's got a good opportunity to do it as well. Well, he's went for a wild cut on that 3. This is what we talk about. You've got to play the percentage shot. I mean, that was like 2 to 1 against him potting that 3 at that angle. good bank and good position on the 5. Well, now he's dead straight in the 6, so he can only leave this 7 at distance. And he's got a good angle though. Good angle and plenty of room to get the cue ball up here for this 8. And he could have done with playing that a bit firmer to get that cue ball a lot more parallel to the 8 ball. This just means the cue ball's running again. And it just creates more problems. And he needs to bounce if he's going to cut that into the middle. So now he's a bit in between here. But in goes the 9. And Bedhead 2-0 up. There's something in the top right. It was the 6 ball. How's his luck? Well, plenty of room. Well, it's tight, but the 1 certainly goes past the 3. I'm saying plenty of room. There's not much room, but there is enough space to get that 1 ball in. Well, he's tried to play the combo. I don't know whether he took a good look at that 1 ball there, but it did go. It was tight, but it certainly had the space to get there. But all that matters is, it's a chance for Houdini if he can actually hold himself together here. Well, that's worked out okay so far. He's still managed to hold himself and get himself on this 3 ball. Oh dear. And no sooner has he done that than he's made a hash of the 3. And if you can't take those chances, I'm afraid you're just going to give them away to players that are 2,200. This is a great opportunity just to tidy up this rack. And he slams in the 3, holds for the 4. Now the problem is getting from the 8 to the 9. Well, that's finished pretty straight. So it's just going to be a dead draw. And he's underhit it. He's underhit that. And this is not easy because that 9 ball is right on the rail. It's frozen to the rail. And he just nudged it to play it safe. And I don't think the 9's moved much off that cushion. Well, it's now off the cushion. And Houdini, I'm afraid, hasn't got away with that one. So Bedhead as a simple enough 9 ball to go 3-0 up in this race to 4. And 6 ball has gone. Well, I'm going to stick my neck out here and say that Houdini's played his last shot. I think Bedhead, provided he gets on this 3 ball off the 2, I think he should be home and dry. I can just see the 3. Well, this could have ended up easier because he's now pretty plumb straight on this 4 ball. So once again, the problem is he can only go forward or back unless he tries to create an angle. No, he's just decided to draw. And now he seems to be okay. Just not let the cue ball run too far here. And the 9 looks favourite into the right middle once he plays this 8 ball. Again, just roll the 8 in. He could do it 2 ways. He could roll the 8 in and roll through with the cue ball and up, but he's decided just to leave it for the 9 into the middle. That was his 2 choices he had there. So Bedhead comfortably wins this 1 loss side match by 4 racks to 0. And very quickly we'll have a look at the bracket and see that Larry, who has given Irish Gaz 7 and out, Larry's up 4-1. Now, I mentioned earlier when we watched Irish Gaz in that first round match or second round match, whatever match it was, that I thought Irish Gaz seemed to be hitting the ball too hard, which makes it all the more difficult trying to control your cue ball to get position. And I said that, you know, when he comes up against better players, he's going to get found out. And maybe this score line is giving you a sort of idea that that's the case, because Irish Gaz is getting the 7 and out in this match, and he's trailing 4-1. And Larry still looking to find problems for himself. He's left an awkward one in the 4 ball here. And it goes, and he's got more problems. He's queuing over the 7 to get to the 5. And he's got to get in the 6. So now it's going wrong again for Larry at the wrong end of the rack. And that's why he's missed the 5. And how's his luck? Well, it's okay, because, you know, Gaz can pot the 5. What does he do to get on the 6 though? Because the 6 certainly isn't passing the 8 ball. He's drawn into the 6. Well, can he hold himself together here? Because he needs a 6 and a 7 ball, and the 7 passes at 8. So 4-2. And 1 ball has gone. How's he sitting in the 2? It goes. Shot in the 3. Oh dear. That's not what you want to be doing when you're trailing 4-2 against Larry. So ball in hand. Get that cue ball right over to the right hand side as far as you can, really. Now what does he do to get onto this 7? If he finished there on the 6th ball, cue ball goes there and up there for the 7. Well, that's still fine. He's finished the short side near to the rail, but he's got a perfect angle to get up for the 7. It's all about judging the face. And that's a wee bit too far, but he still should be okay. The 9 ball might do him a favour here and just hold him for the 8. Well, he's missed the 9. And maybe he was actually relying on hitting the 9 there, and that's now gone wrong. He's now out of line. And going to have to pull out one of these thin cuts in the 8 ball. He needs to watch the cue ball as well, though. And needs another one on this 9. Well, he's got a choice. He plays the cut or he plays the bank. And in goes the 9. And Larry goes to 5-2 in front. And no shot on for Irish Gaz, other than trying to get a good safety, which he hasn't done. Well, that 2 and 7 are going to have to be made as a combo here. 7's going to the jaw, but it can easily be made into a combo. And Larry's missed a 1. Now that's a mistake, because Irish Gaz, if he pots this 1 and gets on the 2, and that's ideal. Yeah, he needs to line this up carefully. He needs to look at where he's cutting the 2 onto that 7 to make the combo, because this for the rack. And then, oh, I thought that was home and dry, that one. Well, now Larry's... Can he cut that 2 onto the 7? Yes, he can. So that's taking care of the first money ball. But look at the 8 ball. 8 ball is hanging right over the pocket. And all it needs is a nudge onto it to knock it in. And Larry should be well aware of that, as should Gaz. Well, this time Gaz has made the mistake. I'm pretty certain that Larry will just roll this 2 up onto the 8 and just leave the 2 over the corner pocket. Just roll it enough weight to pot the 8 ball. And that's perfect, because he's now got the edge of the 2 and get the cue ball back up for the 3. Well, he's choosing to leave these at distance, and this always means you're doing more work with the cue ball. Got to judge the pace of this. And that's pretty good. Oh, what's happened here? I think he's okay. I thought he'd just gone in past the jaw there. But he's dead straight. Another long 9. And it goes, and Larry keeps the cue ball on the table, and he now leads by 6 racks to 2. And Irish Gaz, I don't know what he said there, but he's bottled out and quit. I was going to type a load of shit there, but that just annoys me when players quit. It just pisses me right off. Right, what's happened now? Well, Larry's in the hot seat. Larry's sitting waiting in tonight's final, which I'm afraid you're not going to see because it's getting to my bedtime again. And Irish Gaz is in away mode. His match is now up. Or at least it should be. Let me have a double check it that. Wait a minute, who's he waiting on? No, he's waiting on the winner of the Bedhead Daily Hustle match. And Bedhead's given 6 and out in that match. And Bedhead's already 2-0 up. And the question is whether Irish Gaz is going to be playing his match, or whether he's going to chicken out. Well, let's see this one lost side match. Bedhead's now 3-0 up. And Daily Hustle, I don't think has had many opportunities. He's getting 6 and out, but he's certainly not had any chances by the looks of it. And that was a good shot by Bedhead. He's managed to nudge the 8 away. He's left it cut on for the 3. And more importantly, he's also got a little angle to get the cue ball out for this 4. Needs to focus entirely on the 3. He should be on the 4, no problem. And the 5 goes into the same pocket if he wants. Past the 9 ball. And this is going to be our last match tonight. The winner of this match is either going to play Irish Gaz or get a bye, depending on whether he's got the nerve to play that one lost side match. But it is never a good sign when a player quits just because he's 6-2 behind. So Bedhead is going to win this match by 4 racks to 0. And Bedhead is now going to play Irish Gaz. Now, whether Irish Gaz is going to have the nerve to do so, I don't know. But anyway, it's beddy bye time for me, folks. So thanks for anybody who was watching tonight, and I'll bid you a good night.